Hello, everybody. Streamlabs just did a bunch of weird stuff, and I don't know what happened, so I'm completely unprepared.
Welcome. Everything is fine.
Can somebody check if we're live so I can make sure that it actually worked?
We're good.
Okay, thank
We are live.
Oh, there will never not be technical difficulties.
It's a strong start. It's a strong start.
Listen, we're all here. We're live.
Oh, absolutely.
It's good. Well, we're not all here. Tanner will be here.
Submission contest
Tanner forgot what time zone we were in, so he will show up. Welcome, everybody, to another contest judging. This time we are going to be looking at NPCs for Bria's, and just like last time, the winner gets $100 and their NPC written right into the book. So that's super exciting. So if you were here last time, it's gonna be a very similar format. I made a wonderful slideshow presentation with the perfect pictures and GIFs, and it's going to be a great time. We're all gonna read through them all. You all wrote me novels. You wrote me novels this time, guys. Last time I was like, oh, these are cute little creatures. And like, here's a couple paragraphs. This time I was like, this is like 3 pages of backstory. I appreciate it. It was perfect. I'm just giving you all the heads up that I made a limit of 1 slide per submission. And I edited out some of the fluff that you guys added. Hopefully I still got everything that you wanted to present for your NPC. Just edited down a tiny bit. Because otherwise, they were going to be like 3 slides apiece, and we would have been here until midnight. Thank you, everybody, for your submissions. Oh, we lost Karen. Well, technical difficulties continue.
We're doing great.
We're doing great. So let me see if I can share my screen. Maybe. Boom.
Andy,
All right.
Evil Honey Badger wants to know if pics were included if they were part of the original submission.
Yes, if anybody submitted a picture, the picture is there. If you did not submit a picture, I picked something for you. Whether that's representative of what you wanted.
You're welcome.
I tried my
That's
best.
what I'm here for.
I tried my best without doing weird shit. So for those of you who don't know, we are from MythCraft the podcast. So we are all voice actors on MythCraft the podcast, all having our awesome characters using the MythCraft system. So while Bria's will be with D&D, I believe there might be a stretch goal. I think Grant's still deciding of making a MythCraft version as well, which would be awesome. So all these NPCs that are submitted will be going into the D&D book to start. So my name is Andrea. I voice Kiris on MythCraft the Pod. She's Fiend Blood. She's no nonsense and angry all the time. It's great. And yeah, you should check it out. I'll let everybody else introduce themselves before we dive into the judging.
Sweet. Hey everybody, I'm Roger Perky, and I play Lucian Del Wary on MythCraft the podcast, and all of the nonsense that Kiris has gotten rid of, Lucian has absorbed and adopted. My goal is to become everyone's problem in the show, and I am on my way there. So super excited to see all
You're
these.
pretty close.
Just give it a couple more weeks.
Hi, I'm Maldwin, also known as Mal, also known as Thistle Featherfoot on MythCraft the podcast. They are a little Kleppen squirrel, super colorful, both in personality and in how they look. And yeah, they're here for adventure, and they're getting a lot of it.
And they're bloodthirsty. They are bloodthirsty.
Accidentally, that wasn't like an intentional
Might have the
character
highest kill
trait.
count at this point.
Facts.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carradine. I am the MC or the game master for MythCraft the podcast. And so Roger being a problem typically means my problem. And so absolutely excited to be here. Fantastic group.
All right, let's get into it. So just in case you didn't know and you're popping into this video, this is for the upcoming Kickstarter, Bria's Mythical Menagerie, which is a D&D 5e compendium that's a lot of critters and familiars for you to add into your D&D game. There's also a couple subclasses and classes, I think, that are being added. A bunch of cool stuff to go along with collecting creatures, having a bunch of them, and using those in your game, both in mechanical ways, not just for fun and RP. The Kickstarter goes live on the 11th, first thing in the morning. So definitely check that out. Set your alarms. There's going to be some pins that are just for the first hour or the first 24 hours. So you really want to get in there if you want those pins. They're super cool. They've been posted in the Discord. You should definitely check out our Discord. The link is in the description below on the video. Make sure you come in. You can see those cool pins. And if you're interested and you're not yet a VIP, for $1, you could join the VIP program. And with that, you get a pin, and there's the ability to get stickers and I think like the cat plush. Oh my goodness, Grant's gonna kill me. I don't remember the name of it. Astral Kitty.
That Astral
Astral
Kitty
Kitty.
keychain?
Yes, Astral Kitty keychain. Thank you. It came to me. For doing stuff in the Discord and earning XP there. Which, if you're here, you're already getting XP, so that's awesome.
You did it.
So let's dive right in and see some of these excellent NPCs. And I did not practice any of this, so I'm going to be reading it live. And whoever made the one submission in Draconic, thank you. So submission number 1, Miss Lady Lyra Fawnflower. Lady Lyra Fawnflower is a half-elf that has a fascination with the myriad of creatures that inhabit the world. Her family, once prominent in elven society, fell into obscurity, and Lyra took it upon herself to restore their name through her passion. She became a renowned collector, traveling the land to capture, study, and care for a wide array of mundane and magical creatures. Her expertise is unmatched, and she shares her knowledge with those who seek her out. In terms of appearance, Lady Lyra is a striking feature with silver hair that cascades down her back. Her eyes are vibrant green, reflecting her connection with nature. She has a tailored dark green and brown outfit made from leather, with pockets and pouches for carrying items of various sorts. Her outfit is both practical and stylish, with embroidery of vines and leaves. She also wears a pendant shaped like a cage, symbolizing her passion for collecting creatures. Now, in terms of what she collects, she specifically collects fairy dragons, blink dogs, pseudo-dragons, sprite swarms, and exotic birds due to their unique characteristics and abilities. In terms of how she would interact with the players, Lyra talks to her creatures as if they are people and will be offended if someone suggests her collection is just a hobby. Or jobby, as I typed. She often
I like it.
absentmindedly.
The job hobby.
It's a jobby. It's a job hobby. I think that actually fits.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She often absentmindedly sketches creatures in her journal during conversations. If players ask, she will give them quests assisting with her, with either expanding her collection or helping protect creatures in need. She sells enchanted animal treats, magical cages, potions, and training on taming beasts and creating traps. Players may find her in a dense forest or a bustling market. She can serve as a valuable ally, providing guidance, resources, and knowledge related to beasts and nature. Also, the amount of time it took me to find this GIF was way longer than I would like to admit.
It's perfect, though.
It's masterful. It's great.
It's probably like an hour. So yeah, that's Lady Lyra.
I like it. I like the inclusion of the selling enchanted animal treats because I think that gives you a lot of opportunity to like have like the not like cast off random magic items, but almost like the grab bag of like, oh, these are like the 50-cent dog treats, but you never know like what flavor, what they're going to be for your pets or for your familiars. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
I would
I
love
love
the discount mystery,
animals.
like animal treats. Like,
Yeah.
all right, you can buy the ones where you know what they do, or you can take the discount bucket
Mm-hmm.
and find out.
Yes.
Yay, congratulations. Your blink dog is 3 sizes larger.
This is only a positive.
Or it like doubles the distance at which they can blink.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules on blink dogs. I just
I like it as a GM. The amount of trouble that I could direct the party towards with this like enchanted almost merchant that collects animals. Absolutely love it.
Now, something I want to do here that I did not give you guys a heads up on is, would your character, Carradine, you could pick anybody if you want, NPC wise, would they like this person?
Oh, interesting.
Queen Altana would be a big fan.
Queen Altana would be a big fan.
Oh, that makes sense.
I could see this person living like
In Chahosran.
Yeah.
In Yiddisk. Oh, absolutely.
I could see it going two different ways. I think Thistle would be super down for the animal aspect, but because Thistle is an animal, if Lyra treats them as like, oh, you're a magical creature, I think they would get really offended.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Wow.
I can see that.
The sentience aspect.
I think Lucian would have a really deep soft spot for a person like this because, as not too many spoilers as we've seen come out, he's something of an animal lover himself from some of the items and trinkets that he's held on to. So I think Lucian would really appreciate this individual because of how it seems like they treat them as like friends, not just companions, but like people themselves. So I think Lucian would like Lady Lyra.
I don't think Curious would like Lady Lyra. The whole like from nobility, like high society, and liking all these very pretty creatures, I should be like, this is too sparkly for me. Like,
Yes.
promptly exit the room.
What's the trick?
Exit stage left.
Exit stage left.
Pursued by bear.
All right, next submission. I loved this submission. This submission is the unnamed druid. This person is a druid that collects 2 of each creature, paranoid of their extinction. It's very goblin-esque, and they overact to anything that's like negative against the forest, against anything like that. So littering, forest clearing, all that kind of stuff, they are extremely against.
So this is, I mean, me and the Lorax are already tight, but you make it some more goblin-esque, and I love it even more.
I have a Lorax plush. I feel like I should go grab it.
I feel like this
How
is very
fair.
Lorax related. Yep, I didn't think
This-
about that.
This would be me if I were an NPC in a fantasy world. Just is so.
Goblin.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
it's such a simple idea, but it's so perfect, and I love it so much.
Well, I like the intentionality of it not being named. It's not that we don't know its name. It's that it is the unnamed druid. That is
Yep.
its title. That is its moniker. That is what it is. So I see like, oh, the character is becoming in love with this NPC. Like, what do we call you? What is it? No. I don't. I'm the unnamed druid. Like that's the response that you give.
Everyone just starts calling him Jerry.
This is 100% somebody you just randomly find in the woods.
I
You
would
don't-
throw
yeah.
this in front of a party, a low-level party, just to mess with their heads. Just to
wait
do it.
until they like accidentally like step on a stick the wrong way.
Oh,
No, like it. So if the party decides that they're going to camp in the forest and they light a campfire in the forest, and then he just shows up, or they like the unnamed druid just shows up and just like spike growths the entire low-level party.
get off my lawn!
Oh, it would be beautiful. It would be
Oh
beautiful.
my gosh.
Yeah, I think the old man get off my lawn voice would be perfect.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You don't find the unnamed druid. The unnamed druid finds you.
Smokey the unnamed druid.
That's funny. That's funny. I want the unnamed druid to give out citations as well. I want there to be like several sessions where they've been receiving anonymous citations.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're coming from, and then
You wake
eventually,
up
like
with
you
a little scrap of paper.
you get like a court summons at the relevant thing in the world. Like you haven't paid for the past 3 months. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just pinned to the tent. So the party wakes up. It's just pinned to the tent. No one knows where it came from.
Kyrus would like this person.
I'm probably gonna go hard no with Lucian because anyone who tries to correct or offer any type of feedback to Lucian is
that's true.
immediately lower on their list of things to care about.
All the citations would be pinned to Lucian.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
to make him even more angry. He would just wake up and it would be attached to him specifically.
I think Thistle would be like. Thistle would want to find the unnamed druid. Like as soon as they disappeared, they would want to like go chasing after them, just like to know more. I don't know if it would be a like or dislike though.
I have no idea. I feel like I don't want to say like Queen Altano again, but like protecting protecting nature in the forest and preserving the natural flow of things, I think would be absolutely like one of the Sindel actually maybe. There's some I think Sindel actually would be a big fan because the unnamed druid just seems like chaos.
I also feel like with like Goblin Moses, he could just be on a boat.
Perpetually
just-
going left.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something
constantly
some
going
drift to
around. All right, number 3. Back to lots of text. This is Zelyar Swift. Zelyar Swift is an intelligent and enigmatic artificer who has traced far and wide. Nearly 270 years old, the old gnome's tales range from scouting the Underdark for rare ores to arming generals and even dragons with his unique weapons. He has since traded this role of adventurer for father and husband, spending his time in the village with his wife and 7 daughters. He spends a lot of time in his shop where he sells one-of-kind weapons, all marked with his sigil, a pistol and arrow crossed with a gear flanking both. He's short and statured, with a weathered face and scarred body, telling the story of his adventures. He is rather muscular beneath green fabrics and dark leathers. He has green eyes magnified by his work goggles, long gray hair pulled into a ponytail, and a large gray beard that's braided to keep out of the way of welding. He wears lots of tools, vials, and experimental ammunition, always looking to work on his latest invention. Most notable, as a result of his previous lifestyle, he has mechanical legs, with enchanted hydraulics and pistons allowing him to raise himself to whatever height he needs. He is strangely serious and focused, yet also chaotic and creative. He has guidelines that all visitors must follow in his shop, though he does not adhere to these himself. Due to his daughters bringing home a number of peculiar creatures, Zelyar has begun a collection of flumps and possums. He originally griped at having these creatures around, but has since found a soft spot, now utilizing them around his shop for help. Flumps specifically act as store security. Should Flumps be armed with weapons? Probably not, but he still tries. Zelyar will pay players for rare ores or crystals that he utilizes in his weapons. He may also give quests related to his eldest daughter, who is adventurous and stubborn like her father. She will often leave to quest after artifacts of her own, and doesn't always come back. Zelyar's shop sells magic ammunition, armor, gadgets, and weapons. Some examples of this are holographic maps, immovable rods with defense mechanisms built in, elemental ammo, and convertible weapons that can switch from two-handed to one-handed. It reminded me of the dad from Beauty and the Beast, so that's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
that. I'll tell you right now what immediately got me. It's the description of them like this weathered old gnome, but also being noted as being muscular, and I'm just like seeing them like ripped, just
Yeah.
like uncomfortably ripped underneath this.
He
Like,
wears
oh,
oversized sweaters
yeah,
until like he's needed, and then you're like, "You're this frail old man." He's like, "No, I'm not."
King Boomy all over again.
Let me show you young bucks how it's done.
His daughters are like, "Oh, come on, Dad."
uh,
I think flumps and possums is an interesting
yeah.
mix of animal companions.
The man likes
But
what he
it's-
likes.
well, that's the thing. It's like a flavor combination that I wouldn't think to put together myself, but then after you try it, I'm like, this might be in fact the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life.
It does
And
make sense.
Yeah, because that would make sense.
Dean Livingston would love this guy.
I feel like this is somebody that would work like at the university part-time.
Oh, absolutely. And
Or
he
they'd
like
want him to.
They'd want him
Yeah.
to, but he'd say no.
like his if he did work there, the only reason why they can't fire him because of all of his like crazy theories and gadgets is just because he has tenure and Dean Livingston likes him. So he puts up with it.
We keep trying to fire him, but he keeps coming back.
Yeah. Every time he's fired, he just shows up to work the next day. We have no idea what to do.
I imagine Zeliar has like built something that is necessary to like the functioning of the university, and they're like,
Oh,
well,
absolutely.
we can't really get rid of him because we don't know how to work this ourselves.
He's the only one that can fix it.
Yeah.
You also know that like there's regular explosions around the place.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There has to be.
What's that fire? Oh, that's just a shop again.
Of
Distant
course.
explosion. That's Zeliar. I think Thistle would love him and would be like begging for an apprenticeship position.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that makes so much sense.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Too much nonsense for Curious. Though he's sometimes serious and focused, so maybe not. It depends on where that balance ended up.
I think Zeliar would probably be too intelligent for Lucian to like. Because I imagine this being somebody that Lucian would initially try to take advantage of to like get some things out of, and I don't think he'd be able to smooth talk his way around somebody as clever as Zeliar.
I feel like Zeliar would have been one of Lucian's previous professors
Yeah,
Out of his
in the
class.
game.
yeah, probably.
I kicked him out of class.
I absolutely hate that guy. He's the worst. He's like the nicest dude. He's the nicest dude. But Lucian can't stand him.
It just didn't mesh. Just didn't mesh.
That's the class he failed.
Yep.
Yep. All right, let's see. Number 4. This is the one that I'm going to have Mal read in Thistle's voice, because whoever wrote this, all I could hear was Thistle. So,
I forgot that you asked me to do
yep.
Okay, I haven't had to use Thistle's voice in a while. Hello, my name is Flora Ravensong. When I was young, I saw an amazing creature. It even nose-booped me. But then it left, and I was not able to find it again. I tried to ask my parents what it was, and they told me I was making it up, that my imagination was running away with me again. I was so mad. It was real. I spoke with some local hunters to see if they had seen it before. They had not, but they shared stories of other amazing creature encounters. A couple years later, I met an archivist, and they helped me research the creature. There were only a couple mentions and one drawing, but it was all the proof I needed. That person was so amazing to help me. Right then, I knew that I wanted to dedicate my life to it. I was going to find and learn all about the creature so I could write about them, and all the info would be easily accessible. No other younglings would have to fight against disbelief like me. I started trailing and then officially training with the hunter rangers. I have found that I love the life of a hunter. Once I was old enough, I went to become a scholar. Once my schooling was over, I was able to apply my trade as a hunter and archivist. Look out, world, here I come. Appearance. I am a forest elf. I'm 5'7", 144 pounds, sandy brown skin with strawberry blonde hair. I have cornflower blue eyes that set me apart from my identical twin sister, who has cornflower purple eyes. My hair is long, and I spend the time to intricately braid my hair into a pot holder so I can safely transport flour. Oh, flower! Callback! That's so cute. Okay. Collection.
Oh.
My sister Fauna, however, runs a rescue for creatures in our village. I bring her creatures that need help and she rehabilitates them. Her care for them helps me gain information for my books, such as abilities, personalities, known issues, etc. I do travel with a plant-based creature named Flower. I also have a great astral cat that has honored me with its friendship. I call her Star. She will help me deliver messages, portal wounded creatures, or even plant Flower's leaves for me if I cannot reach an area. Player interactions. Oh no, I can't see the bottom of the screen. There we go.
No.
Okay. I am the person you could run into anywhere. I may have some spell components, goods, or even services I can trade. I might also ask for help with hard-to-reach creatures in need or other items. Lastly, I am a great companion to help you finish quests. Who knows? You may even find your next bestie at my sister's sanctuary. End scene.
Excellent job. When I was typing that, all I could hear was Thistle.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
This is
I'm in love.
Doppelganger in another universe.
Yeah, I love the inclusion of flower. That's beautiful.
So, for those of you that didn't attend the last stream, the winner of the familiar contest was Flower, who is a little tiny sentient flower, who are succulent of any sort, that
Right.
can leave its leaves in areas, and through that people can listen or gain lore about the area, that kind of stuff. So, great throwback for whoever did this. Also, the braided hair into a pot holder for the flower.
Hair macrame.
Yeah.
Love
Inherently
And I
cool.
love their twin sisters, Flora and Fauna. That just, that brings me joy.
Yeah, that's really well done. It's simple too, but maybe it was because like the immersion that I felt with you reading this as Thistle now, but like I like the way it's presented too. I like hearing it like first person from the potential NPC. It felt like I knew them differently, so I felt like I was more excited inherently because of the story that was being told.
Yep.
Definitely. Kirsten, not like this person. That's a good answer for a lot of these, but like
Bubbly and fun.
this is somebody that would grow on her though. Like I could see this be somebody she would eventually like, but like at first she would be like, "I've already got Thistle, thank you."
Oh my goodness. I think Lucian would like Flora. And I think it's mainly because even though he's got like the almost like a standoffish type of like he almost pushes people away, I think he actually secretly wishes to surround himself with truly positive, happy people because he needs that. So I think that he would like Flora.
I think Thistle would also like Flora. I think they're not too similar to the point of like, when you and someone are the exact same person and you just don't get along. I think they're enough of the same person, but also different people that they would just get along really well. I think Thistle would absolutely want to go on adventures and explore.
I am going to do the callback and say that the woman who owns the apothecary would be
Ooh, yeah.
a big fan.
I was picturing
the
her
widow.
shop when I was reading that.
Definitely. This is somebody that would be like around town and friends with all the local shopkeepers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Knows everybody, gets into trouble. Yeah, love it.
Maybe she and Sindel would get along if they're like of similar
I
age.
could see that. I could see this is somebody that Sindel goes and gets in trouble with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, number 5. Elliot the Unlucky.
Oh.
Elliot the Unlucky always appears to be down on their luck. However, despite this, they have a very positive outlook on life. Elliot is a white-haired urchin teen wearing dirty and torn clothing. They can only remember one time in their life that they ever felt anywhere close to safe. It was a cold night, and Elliot was beyond tired and freezing. They weren't sure if they could make it till morning, but at the stroke of midnight, a large, glowing, fluffy creature sat beside them and offered them comfort and warmth. Elliot snuggled close to this oh-so-soft side and felt love. It was as if the darkness shrank away from them that night. Upon waking in the morning, the creature was gone. Elliot has spent the last 6 months trying to find any glowing, fluffy creatures in hopes that it will be the one that made them feel loved and safe. Elliot will take up one glowing, fluffy creature at a time. If it is not the creature that they are looking for, and this is something the GM would secretly determine on the GM side, they will find a loving home for it. In exchange for the creature, Elliot will give the player 1 luck point for that day. That's a MythCraft thing, but I could see it being used in D&D too. They'll give him 1 luck point that day. an item that the trinket or something is attached to. Upon giving this point, however, Elliot will immediately have something unlucky happen to them. Trip over a box, get a paper cut, fall down the stairs. However, Elliot will jump right back up and announce that they know the perfect placement for that creature and then run off to find them a home. I thought this was adorable.
I love
That is
this.
adorable. It's very sweet.
I also like the idea of an NPC that, like, essentially trades in luck.
That's like super interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely not something that I've seen before, and I'm a big fan. Trying to turn your luck around before you go into like a big bad situation.
I also really like the it's a simple mechanic, but it's a really cool like backstory thing then for like a player and GM to engage with to see if this is in fact like the GM gets to make a decision. So there's a little bit of mystery on the side of this NPC as well. Like, are they going to find their connection? Are they not going to find their connection? Like how you fit into the story. And I think that makes it really fun and really creative.
I think it's an easy way to make your players care.
Yes.
Like, this sad story, this heartwarming story, and it's like, I just need to find this one creature, please. Like, if you see any, and like, it can be built into the story at any point, and it can be continual of like, anytime they see a glowy, fluffy creature, it could be it. Gotta bring it back to Elliot.
We have to go back to that town and find Elliot again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's like a mini plot arc and he just follows you around for a little bit.
Yep.
Putting all of his unluckiness on you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your bag of holding breaks.
Oh
drat.
no. Everything just explodes out.
Curious would secretly like this person.
I would go so far as to say that Lucian would do anything to protect this person and would feel
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
feel a remarkably close connection to them and would do anything they could to support them.
They would be adopted by our party in a heartbeat.
Yes.
This is one that, like, we would pick them up and put them and protect them.
Come on.
I think Thistle would like them, but they might get a little jealous sometimes. Depending on like the kind of attention that Elliot would get.
Oh.
I feel like General Tovald would be like secretly, like just like Kiris would be like secretly, hey, look out for him, and then would like move on really quickly, but then find out that anything happened and he would rip everything apart to try to find him.
The General Tovald, is that a character that we have? Maybe I've heard them by a different name.
If you haven't listened to
What?
MythCraft,
Listen to
go
the show.
find...
Spoilers.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows.
Somebody knows.
Thank you,
Daddy
Badger.
T. Daddy T would
Daddy T.
adapt him.
Daddy T.
If you want to hear me break Kyle, find the episode where I refer to him as Daddy T.
I couldn't. I the whole time I'm just like,
I gave zero warning for that one. It was
Nope.
beautiful.
no.
God,
My
everyone
my
out there.
reaction was live.
All right, number 6. Chef Clayton. Chef Clayton is a clay golem who absolutely loves cooking. A long time ago, a noble commissioned a powerful wizard to create the fanciest chef to serve them exclusively. This wizard created Clayton and spent several years bringing culinary specialists from around the world to train him. Clayton soaked up all of this knowledge like a sponge, learning techniques and recipes with rapid alacrity. There was one major hurdle for Clayton, though. He does not have the capacity for taste. Clayton refused to let this slow him down, and through hard work, he became an excellent chef. He can make beautiful-looking meals, though this does not necessarily mean that they're edible or taste good. After training, Clayton was sent to meet the noble and his family. He wanted to create the most exotic meal to display his abilities, a basilisk confit with a garnish of some lovely purple flowers he found. Unfortunately, the poisonous basilisk meat and the deadly nightshade turned out to be a rather fatal last meal for the noble and his family. Clayton, now unemployed, travels to find the rarest materials to cook with. Travelers, be wary of food offered by golems, as we learned with Friend.
No.
A rather nondescript clay golem in a chef hat and an apron. He was clearly not created for combat. He actually has a little bit of a refined gentleman appearance. Chef Clayton associates beauty with flavor, because he can't taste. And as such, he seeks out the cutest or most beautiful creatures with which he can create his culinary artistry, often using various plants and herbs he finds along his travel to add to the dish with very little knowledge of what these things in the world, flesh and bone beings can safely consume. Clayton will share his culinary creations with anyone. He does not feel the need for money, so he has nothing to sell. However, he does seek rare and beautiful creatures and will hire adventurers to go and seek these on his behalf, rewarding them with any treasure they might find and sharing his food, which is not recommended.
Excellent.
My question is he looking for okay, I'm
I would
So the
like to
rare
think
and
they're not
beautiful
creatures to
creatures-
be eaten.
that's my question.
Utilize this
I don't know. I don't know.
But we don't know.
That is my question. Is he looking for the rare and beautiful creatures
I mean,
to
he did
put them
cook
into his
back
meals?
with, so
Like delicious
Well-
in dungeon.
Oh, great.
I love that his name is Clayton.
Yes.
Makes me happy.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I think it's super cool. I think it's super funny as well. Like what I already see in my head is the party not being aware of Chef Clayton's past and seeing this beautiful smorgasbord in front of them. That is an awesome session when they learn that it is the absolute worst thing they've ever consumed.
Yep.
And then all the fallout that comes from it.
this would just be such a beautiful disaster in a game.
Yes.
Such a beautiful disaster. And I would just want to teach him how to cook. I would have a whole quest line of like magically getting Clayton taste buds.
Oh, absolutely.
Or like making him a journal of like these things are safe for these creatures. A little table of like these are pretty, do not eat them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Picture book. This is good.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is good. This is bad. Oh. I can't. I have zero concept of how Curious would feel about this individual. I do not know.
Yeah, this is complicated. I think there, like, if Lucian was aware of Chef Clayton's past, there may be like some like camaraderie, eat the rich mentality thing going on, but I'm not exactly sure.
Thistle would be helping make the picture book of what things are okay and what are not from the tavern recipes.
Brother Brick would be a big fan of Clayton.
Oh, and he can pretend to eat the food. And...
Yeah.
Yep.
Aw.
The scene-
That was my
the-
thought.
The scene where they're having like a little like fancy lunch just alone in a room and somebody busts in. Oh, sorry, we'll come back later.
They have the smallest forks.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh. And notes are being taken. All right. So.
Furiously writing.
I actually think Curious would like this person just because she could see the use for them of potentially poisoning somebody in the future.
Oh, I can see that.
But
Okay.
with such flair.
Like,
Such flair
utilization.
and pizzazz.
Like, we're going to bring you along.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you cook something absolutely delicious looking and feed it to somebody I want to die. Period.
Oh, what if they die and then Clayton is like, I didn't mean for that to happen.
Yeah, Curious would say buck up.
You did, you
all
did
know
good,
it.
Chef. You did good.
Yes, chef.
That was intended. All right. Number 7, Stevie.
Yes.
Stevie is the perfect example of an Australian animal-loving ranger. His whole persona is to teach others how to love and respect animals, no matter how dangerous. His hands-on approach and fearlessness entertains and captures the heart of millions. Stevie has dirty blonde hair and wears knee-length khaki shorts. He wears a matching khaki t-shirt and thick leather boots. He has a broad Australian accent and a cheerful personality. Stevie collects any and all creatures. He prides himself on imparting knowledge about the natural world to those willing to listen. He has a personal attachment to quadrupedal, medium to large reptiles, which his hands-on approach is another reason he is so well known. Stevie may guide players to help them obtain information regarding creatures around the world. He may also hire them to capture or relocate creatures that are threatening civilians, save vulnerable creatures from poachers or disasters, or investigate a rare or injured creature sighting. And this was not me picking Steve Irwin. This person picked the Steve Irwin.
I'm going to start crying. This is so important to me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Stevie
everybody's
Irwin
heartstrings.
was
Yeah.
absolutely my childhood.
Yeah, fundamental, and the person I've grown to be is my love of alligators and crocodiles.
I can totally see him with all the drakelings.
Oh, that's really good. That's really
Just a
good.
bunch of basilisks. Just a ton of basilisks.
That too, yeah.
Just wrestling them.
I love him.
Like, I feel like my only problem with this one is like I am immediately drawn to this. I love this so much, but it's because I want to do silly Australian accents in my game, and that's why I need Stevie here with me.
My immediate only problem is that I can't do an Australian accent.
Oh, I didn't say I could.
So I wouldn't be able to give him do him justice.
Yeah, you gotta put respect
But
on that,
oh my
on
gosh.
Stevie.
It's so having Steve Irwin in a D&D campaign,
Yeah.
of course he would be.
Basically, everybody would immediately get it too.
Yeah.
So you start doing the accent and started talking, everybody would be like, "Oh, I know exactly what that is."
Oh yeah.
I feel like Curious would like him, just because he's bound to have some kind of like crazy dangerous beastie.
Lucian would immediately dislike Stevie because I think that Curious would be drawn to them, and I think he would be jealous.
Oh, 100%.
Immediately.
Fearless
would love him.
man, manhandling dangerous creatures. If I had to
Thistle
give
would
Curious a
love
type,
him
that would be it.
just like on their own, and also because Curious loves him. And Thistle might idolize Curious just a little bit. They think she's really cool. But if Curious thinks this person is cool, Thistle is going to think this person is cool. And also, all of the adventures with all the creatures is just amazing.
True.
Crikey.
I feel like General Tovald would be a big fan, or there would be some people in Vanith who were trying to poach Stevie.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Like trying to get him to come work for them.
100%. I can see him being like super valuable. I also can see Toman like
Oh.
full on like having a alligator wrestling competition with this man.
Yes, 100%.
Like that would just happen. Like naturally happen. You'd just be like, why are they wrestling alligators? And they're like, they just met. It just happened. It's
They're just
Okay,
saying hello.
Lore conspiracy theory: Stevie was around for the dinosaur wars.
Oh. I like that.
Yeah. Noted.
An Australian elf who's just like
What elf?
timeless.
So good. Next one. Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Has he, they pronouns. This person included pronouns, which I was super appreciative of.
Nice.
So Sparkle began their life as a familiar of an adventurer whose goal was to travel the world and learn of other cultures. Due to an awakened spell gone awry, a pact made with the Chaos Genie, a wild magic vortex, and some Feywild shenanigans, Sparkle has transformed from a familiar into, well, something of its own classification. Since the retirement of their creator, they have carved their own path through the world. Sparkle can fly, has a passion for painting, and a soft spot for other familiars. He is immune to any magic that would force him to tell the truth, but is also magically bound to any agreement he makes. Sparkle is a halfling-sized creature, fox-like in appearance, with blue butterfly wings. If asked about his wings, he will just remark that genies are unpredictable. He dresses fanciful and flamboyant, reflecting his time in the Feywild. Sparkle collects any and all creatures, but they specialize in those that are considered strange or aren't cute by traditional standards. Due to his past, he wants the best for every small creatures they meet. They hope to find a match for every creature with their perfect traveling companion, as he saw his own creator was the perfect companion for him. Sparkle is purposefully mysterious of his past. Every time he tells the story of how he came to be, it changes. So there's no telling what is true and what is not. He will often hand out quests asking adventurers to protect creatures, hoping to match them with a creature in need of an adventuring companion. He also serves portraits that he's painted himself, as well as art he has collected. He has some unique magic items as well. He really likes to collect things that pique his fey-like curiosity and sense of humor. That is Sparkle. I think Sparkle would be so much fun.
Yeah, I love Sparkle.
Oh, absolutely.
Agree.
Sparkle's one of those NPCs that you would meet in the strangest place.
Yes.
Like, this is somebody that would just exist in the Hildegard cave.
Ooh, yeah.
Also there for just completely separate reasons.
Oh, yeah, and unrelated to it, but just would exist there. And just, like, one day
Yep.
be like,
He's
hey.
just there. Yeah. Oh, hey, you made it.
Yeah.
Where? I don't know.
Who
Here.
are you?
I was literally going to say that this is very much like the faceless lady.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I like anything with like a good like fey contract mystery tied to it as well. I like the dichotomy between having like a super mysterious and maybe intentionally lying background story, but then also being very, very honest and meticulous once they've come into a deal or a contract. I think that makes it really fun to play. And for Lucian, I think there'd be a mad respect here for somebody who refuses to tell a straight story.
Yeah. I love the immunity to magic that would make him tell the truth.
Yeah.
There's so much playroom with that. And also, I can totally see a character just being like, oh yeah, I'll like help me out to get to this one town or whatever. And then he like gives them directions or something, or they like misunderstand or miscommunicate, and he's just like following them until they get there. And it's like, hey, I'm contractually bound. Like, you can't make me go away. My bad.
Right. It's one of those, like, it's like a fiend agreement, right? It's gonna always have those weird loopholes or stretches of the truth, or like, well, you took it this way, but I meant it this way, so therefore it's the contract is not over.
I can see them like continuing to twist words once the contract ends to like continue it so it's never ending. It's like, I like traveling with you. I'm gonna find any reason to stay here.
Holds up the contract and just like more clauses that just keep dropping down below.
Fine print, finer print, finer print.
One of my favorite things with this is I like the idea of the quest where he's setting people on quests to help the creature he thinks matches with them. So like he's just like, this creature needs somebody, and like meets the party and was just like, you will match with this person, like, and sends them off to go help them to make that connection. I thought that was like so
It's
much
super
fun.
cute. Yeah, super wholesome too.
Curious would not like this person just because when this person and Lucian were in the same room, they would be unbearable.
Yeah.
Like-
That's objectively true.
By themselves, Curious would probably be like, yeah, they're okay. Like they're fun, they're mischievous, they can cause chaos. Like, yeah. But like as soon as they were in the same room, she'd be like, this is way too much. This is way too much. You gotta go.
We can't. We've entered into an agreement. They live with me forever now.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're actually staying with us forever.
Curious is going to make
Or
a pact
fortunately.
with Sparkle, who's going to make a magical agreement, and they're just going to be stuck in a never-ending loop.
Yep.
Thistle would like him a lot. I think Thistle would be completely enraptured by whatever stories they would say, and probably not true, but Thistle would absolutely believe every single word.
So sweet.
Okay, awesome. On to number 9. The Forgotten One. The Forgotten One is a wizard slash mage from an era long gone. Part of a hero party, mostly forgotten, cursed to walk the earth forever. His memories are fading faster each century, to the point where he doesn't even remember his own name, and only gets flashbacks every once in a while. Now he walks the earth, struggling to remember anything about himself, and seeks out heroes for assistance with finding his story, following rumors whispered about how he used to be so powerful he could split mountains with a wave of his hand. He is pale skin, pulled taut over a thin frame, spindly bony arms, and features worn and aged from the eons. It is very hard to tell what race he was. He wears old grand wizard robes and a wide brim wizard's hat, worn from time. His eyes, once powerful, now stare blankly. He wields a staff from a long extinct wood that still holds and commands great magic. I did not include it here because it's a huge chart, but essentially in combat, he rolls on a table from like a d10, and he can do anything but like do nothing to cast a 9th level spell at random.
Oh, wow.
So
Does not
full
get to pick
range
what spell.
of craziness, and I think that's hilariously chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
The Forgotten One collects ghost-like creatures and creatures born from relics in hope that they can help him learn his history and regain memories. The Forgotten One may send players out to retrieve old books and artifacts, to ancient tombs to retrieve ingredients he once hid, or to start the ritual to break the curse he is under. He is always muttering to himself and begging adventurers to help him discover his path. He can usually be found in a tavern or library. If the party retrieves his ingredients, he will also begin muttering about how it's all coming together again.
Oh, it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's just this is what a great line to include for any NPC you've written ever. First of all,
I need him to speak like Kronk now.
oh my, that's honestly that's possibly too good. Where?
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
The first paragraph that you were reading, it's just like this, like Harlow.
It starts
Yeah.
like Harlow, and it gets farther and farther away.
Oh, absolutely.
I just think it's so chaotic.
Yeah, it's the chaos that I think brings the positive energy here. But I also think, and I simultaneously love this and think it also has to be like niche and like situational, like putting them in a situation where they meet this NPC and like, oh, this is someone who like doesn't have much like value. It doesn't seem like they're able to help them, but they're like going through a dungeon or going through a certain like specific event, and they see them accidentally cast a level 7, 8, 9's level spell. Wild. That would be something that would be truly, and it has to be a surprise. I think that would be what's really powerful about this NPC.
I love that they included a combat table. That's really neat.
Yeah.
I also love that. I was about to say this. I love that they
Oh.
collect ghosts.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like there's always missing like the person that collects the like creepy, the old, the Pokemon trainer that has the haunters and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I like when they throw somebody that doesn't collect just the Jesse.
Who are you gonna call? The Forgotten One.
Obviously.
What's the owl familiar's name from Bria's? I cannot remember.
Oh no, I can't remember
The
either.
spectral owl.
I'm sorry, Grant.
That would be perfect for this though.
Forgive us.
Yeah.
We would just all be following him. We have so many.
Mm-hmm.
Like we find the owl first, and
They're
the
just,
owl leads
they're
us
just
back to the Forgotten One.
circling. A whole bunch of them just circling above him.
Oh,
One thing I like
That's
about this is it's like
ominous.
specific enough that it has a story, but like it's
Yeah.
also vague enough that like the DM can do connect it in almost any way, because the specifics of the past are just not there, right? So it could just tie it in any weird way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense, actually.
Curious would not like this guy. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Should I just
Can't put your finger on it.
internally feel it? That once he was introduced, she would not like him. She wouldn't trust him.
I think it would be hit or miss with Lucian. I think how they met would be very determining if Lucian would like this individual. If they met because this individual was down on their luck and like was in one of the instances where they couldn't remember much, didn't know what was going on, loves them, helps them. If they were like seeking, like, you got to go find this relic, you got to go find this archive for me, no thanks, probably would rub the wrong way.
I could see that. I might change my answer to that. Depends on how they're introduced.
Yeah.
If Daddy T was like, help this man, Curious would be like, okay.
Help this man. Thistle might actually be a little scared of him, but in the same way, like almost like fascinated by, but intimidated by. Like I'm gonna follow the group that travels with him and stick with what the group does, but I'm gonna be on like the other side of the group. Like the little kids that stare at someone that they think is like really interesting, and then you see them staring at out of the corner of their eye, and it's like, no, I'm not looking at you, but when you're not looking, I'm looking at you.
Right. Absolutely. Dean Livingston is very intrigued by this person. The random spell casting, like almost wild magic at that point. Dean Livingston is very intrigued.
Next, sorry, I was laughing at this.
Yeah, I was in the chat too.
I tried not to. I was trying not to be copy. Number 10. This was a lot of fun. Submission number 10 is Isaac. Isaac is peculiar even amongst other Nothics. While he hunches and huddles like other Nothics, he can manage to hold himself in the same manner as civilized folk. In fact, he carries himself much like a dignified noble. If it weren't for his appearance, he may fool others into thinking he was just another eccentric wizard. Isaac lives in a wizard's tower that hosts otherworldly architecture and is capable of teleporting from place to place. Through this, he has found an abandoned cathedral that he uses as an animal sanctuary, and a ruined library that he is rebuilding to be his own. Isaac despises violence and will flee from it. However, if an animal is in need, or friends are in need, he will stay to give aid. He tries to help and heal, only turning to violence when absolutely necessary. Isaac's abilities focus around healing and utility, and he is extremely intelligent due to his helm of intellect. Isaac has a smile that somehow turns his creepy form into adorable. His orange and teal skin has an opalescent sheen in the light. He has emerald crystals that sprout from his body. He has one massive hazel eye. Isaac adores playing dress-up and is always clothed in some manner, often changing to be fresh and fashionable. He will always trade for cool clothing. There's no rhyme or reason to the creatures that Isaac collects, though he seems most easily smitten by those that are magical. He gravitates towards creatures in need, making a near-instant bond due to how he sees a lot of himself in them. He will go above and beyond to help them. With that said, he has been raising a family of pseudo-dragons for many years now. Isaac primarily gets items through trade, an avid collector of all things magical, but books are his passion. In exchange for knowledge or books, the players can use his towers as a portable base. He will also heal the party and their animal companions. He may even allow them to adopt one of the creatures from his sanctuary. His tower has access to pocket dimensions, has access to a pocket dimension that has an ancient abandoned city with advanced magic. He may help to be a guide in this area, eventually leading them to learn who he was before a Nothic.
This is awesome.
Yep.
First of all, Nothics are like super cool creatures in 5e in general, and like pairing them with other things. And turning that on its head and having this be something that is like transcended, become something different, I think that's awesome, and I think that's super clever, and I was smitten immediately whenever I saw this one pop up.
I don't actually know anything about Nothics. Gonna out myself for a second, but they look really cool, and I love a little dude who reads. So, and the pseudo dragon family is adorable. I want to know more. I want to meet Isaac. I think he's really interesting.
I want to have a portable portable
Yeah.
base.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought at the end, whenever it said that there's like a doorway that leads to an ancient like magical city, I immediately thought of that episode from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where like Charlie's like, "Oh yeah, this is just my closet," and it's like the rest of the apartment, and they've been living in like one room the entire time.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
This is just like so fun to me.
Yeah.
Like he's just like so cool. I love the trading for clothes. That's a fun concept to be in. It's something like different to me. Of like, no, I don't want your money. I don't want your cool shit. Give me your clothing. I want your shoes. Like I want that
Give me your
hat.
shoes.
Yeah. No, I don't care how much this is worth. Like, I want the clothes you're currently wearing because they are cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just sounds like such a fun interaction. I also think like in a game, like this is somebody that I can see being part of a game across the whole thing.
Yes.
It starts with just a couple little quests, and then you become friends with them, and then you get his trust, and then once it's a level that's not broken to have a teleporting tower, like you could have a teleporting base, and then high level he's just like, oh yeah, by the way, open that door. Let's
And
go
there's
find
the rest
out.
of the apartment.
Yes. I feel like so much of my like decision making in these types of things, like based on the scenes I can see in my head, and those are the scenes that I can see. I can see the scenes where the players are like, wait a second, you mean we've been hanging out for 246 sessions and you're just now telling us that you've got a magical city behind that door? Awesome.
You said that was the bathroom.
That's where I go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah,
bathroom.
there is a bathroom in there.
Curious would like this dude. She would at first not like him, but like very quickly come to like him.
I think Lucian would love this individual for, I think, again, going back to the same thing I keep saying, the juxtaposition between what like society probably thinks about these types of creatures and like who they actually are, and like the, you know, the butting of heads.
Absolutely.
Would want to help them, chill with them. They seem awesome.
Thistle would love him. I know I'm saying that for a lot of these NPCs, but
Thistle's just
I
also
mean-
super friendly. They're like,
yeah.
there's very few people that I feel like Thistle would not like.
Yeah. I think I could see Thistle and Isaac sitting down and sharing a book or two, just chatting.
I feel like for the majority of these, if it's somebody that like you're like, oh, I need to help them, like Kyrus and Lucian are on board. Like, okay, we need to adopt them and bring them back in, like everybody else.
You stay with me now.
Yep.
You're my friend now.
Even though this is one of those NPCs where you think he needs you, and then like
Right.
you very quickly realize, or even slowly realize, like, oh, he did not. He can cast 9-level spells and has been able to since I was level 1. Like,
It's like, actually, I need him.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's been watching out for us all the time. Yeah, 100%. Number 11, Snux. Here is our wonderful draconic buddy. I apologize for whoever submitted this, unless you did this to make me pronounce it, and then I don't apologize. Snux is an experienced kobold merchant that has been traveling the world for many years, searching for the rarest artifacts and creatures to add to his reservoir of curiosities. His reputation is well respected and admired. He is a kind, happy-go-lucky kobold who enjoys the companies of others and always enjoys listening to stories from fellow travelers that cross his path. Before becoming a merchant, he was a famous fighter, raised to know only war and fighting. He was known as G. Schiff Moshpuff, I don't know, which is the Red Lightning in Draconic. Everyone know G. Schiff Moshpuff as the strongest and most feared kobold warrior in all history. Combat skills unmatched. No one knows why he left for peace and pacifism, but they know he is happy with his choice. He is always accompanied by his most trusted companion, Kuvmit Quav, or Coco, or Kuko for short, which is also bottomless pit in Draconic. Kuko will eat just about anything he finds tasty, and will often get them into trouble. Kuko is a force to be reckoned with, and when angered, it takes the shape of an owlbear, keeping a rock lizard appearance, and gains the strength of a golem. Snuck's goal is to find the elusive rainbow will-o-wisp, or willies as he calls them. He travels and trades resources for any information on the rainbow willy. Snucks is 3 foot tall, with green reptile eyes, red skin with bronze scales, yellow underbelly, and a few scars on his face. He wears leather mixed with armor, merchant clothes, and carries a battle-worn sword and a silver ash wood walking stick. Kvmitkoff is an interdimensional creature that resembles a small, chubby rock lizard, no longer than 2 feet long, purple underbelly, and dark gray rocks as scales. His eyes are like small spheres that contain a galaxy. It also has a mouth that resembles a sandworm with rows of teeth, but always smiles like a gecko. Snucks collects rare creatures that range in coloration or physiology that let them adapt to their environment. He particularly focuses on will-o-wisp, or willies, as they are a mystery to him. He may send players on quests to find artifacts to add to his collection or shop. His services range from smithing to artisan of crafts, for he is a jack of all trades. He will also happily exchange items for information of the Rainbow Willy. Thank you, whoever wrote this.
That's awesome. And well done on the pronunciation.
Yes. I'm not even being
Yes.
I'm not being sarcastic on this. This is actually a lot of fun to read. So thank you for this.
I love kobolds.
I do
Yeah.
love kobolds too.
They're just little guys.
They're just little guys.
Also, this chubby little rock lizard that grows to the size of an owl bear
Yeah, just
and gets
casually
like golem strength. Love it.
wild. Yeah.
Love it. I don't know what
There's
this can
like-
be, but love it.
Yeah, but there's like good story here. There's a lot of good story opportunity here, and I think I think you said it earlier, Andy. Like there's a good balance of like kind of do what you want because their past is like known to be important, but you could fit that into whatever world you wanted to and whatever story you needed. But they also have relevancy on the quest that they're going for. I don't know. I think this would be really fun to drop anywhere, and I could see a lot of different types of parties interacting and engaging with Snucks.
I think will-o-wisps are also one of those creatures that's like so easy to drop anywhere, and like just be
Yeah.
like a flick, like you just see a
Yeah.
flick of a rainbow light, and then like it's gone. Like
Yeah.
it's
those are,
so
like-
easy to follow around.
Will-o-wisp are don't like chat like don't come at me for this, but I'm pretty sure they're a fairly low-level monster, but are also like a heavy hitter for what they are because they have some built-in abilities. So like that's like a bold thing for a kobold to be going after and collecting will-o-wisp on their own. Because if you find yourself surrounded by a lot of them, I'm pretty sure they could do some damage. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing to pick.
Tanner, where are you? Get in here.
Is Tanner is in our chat?
Chat.
Just lurking.
Just pop it in.
That's really
The
funny.
things that I noticed will call you out of this. But yeah, I think this would just be so much fun. And also, I want to have every GM out there have to pronounce his name
Yeah.
and search for the Rainbow Willy. Like that's just like that's a one shot in itself. The search for the Rainbow
Yeah.
Willy.
Yes.
You could write a whole
Snucks
one
in
with
the
that.
search for the rainbow.
Snucks in the search for the Rainbow Willy, right?
Actively writing that tonight. Sorry.
How does that not get everybody's attention? All right, number 12, Esmeralda. Esmeralda is basically Elmira from Looney Tunes. She's obsessed with creatures, annoying but harmless. She may upset your creatures depending on how much they like to be cuddled. She's a small humanoid, looks like a teenager, wacky red ginger hair that sticks out everywhere, and she always wears that I love something clothing. Whatever the animal the player has, that's the shirt she has on. She collects all creatures, but especially the cute ones. It will always start with Esmeralda cooing over the player's creatures. She will ask to pet them and be totally entranced by them. If the creature is small, she'll probably want to... Tanner, just join. She will probably want to...
Get in here.
She will likely pick them up, even if they don't want to be picked up. She gets upset if you do not let her pet your creatures, or you won't talk to her about how cute they are. If you let her fuss over your creatures, she will be friendly and provide healing, food, and some cute pet accessories. If you don't, she will be cross and shout at you. This brought me back to childhood.
The ability to like go like into like Looney Tunes mode energy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This would be one of those fun NPCs that you would just throw at a session to just like mess with your party so hard.
Mm-hmm.
To go like really hard from being like the cute like NPC who's just super overly excited to immediately maybe getting like a little bit angry and frustrated whenever they're not giving you like the same like access to their cute animals as you would like. I think that would be really funny to run and also funny to engage with as a player.
Absolutely. Oh, we didn't say if our characters would like the last one.
Oh.
I think that's important. Kyrus would like the little Draconic man.
Lucian would publicly, vehemently hate Snucks and would secretly and privately be oh so jealous and swooning over them. But I think he would feel like nervous around them because they're actually cool and actually have done real things.
Surprising to no one, Thistle would love Snucks. And would absolutely want to ride Kuko into battle if they both would allow. Hi, Tanner.
Tanner just
Hi.
tried to sneak into chat, and we're like, nobody's gonna notice me here.
I had said something earlier. I don't remember the character's name, but he was it started with an X. I can't pronounce it, but it was an old
Zoe.
man.
You've been here that long?
I was in the chat that long, and I was just like,
Yeah,
Dude.
outing yourself.
it just felt weird that I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, they're already in the middle of it.
All right,
So
Tanner.
anyway,
Yeah. You have to go through all 11 now. I'm just joking.
Yep.
back to the beginning.
I will say I did like the unnamed druid, although how long does that last going unnamed in any D&D setting?
Yeah,
Or
like halfway through the session.
he just
probably
has
would have a
all of the
nickname.
names. Like every time you ask, it's just a different name.
Ooh.
Very true.
Yes.
I'm unnamed because I have all the names. If you have all the names, do you really have any name? That's the
That's
question.
deep. That's too
Wow.
deep.
It's too deep. On to the next
Or
one.
you introduce yourself and suddenly your name is not your name anymore.
I like doing that in games when we're in like different situations. I'll just throw out a name because I don't want them to know my character's name. And the TM is always like, yeah, I'm Julia. They're like, what? Mr. Fribble.
Wait, sorry. Did we talk about if our characters would like Esmeralda? Because
Nope, because I got
Okay.
off track. Right. I hope you guys like this stream. I'm going all over the place. Kyrus would not like this. Like, there's no question there.
Lucian loves Esmeralda, and from like kind of a weird thing, like it's a utility perspective, because you've got this individual who could be possibly a really good distraction that could then be like used and pointed other directions. So I think Lucian would love Esmeralda.
I think Thistle might like her at first. until they get to know her. And then would like feel really bad for like not wanting to to hang around her
We
very
found
often.
Thistle's weakness.
Yeah, like finding an excuse to be like somewhere else. Like, oh, I have to go, like, sorry, I have to go fletch some more arrows, or oh no, I left the oven on. Sorry. We're staying in an inn. I left the oven on.
Is that what? That's never mind. That's spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen. Never mind. I won't say anything. This to me, for any of my League of Legends fans, feels like it'd be like a very like Annie and Tibbers relationship with Esmeralda and Friend, just kind of like Esmeralda pulling Friend around.
Oh.
Oh, yep.
I do love the
100%.
name
I can see that.
Esmeralda.
Okay, now we're on track. Now, Mr. Fribble. Sorry, Mr. Fribble. Mr. Fribble was rescued during an adventure to a mythical creature aviary/zoo. He was found hiding under a cot in his room off the main office. He was being held against his will after he answered an ad for an accounting job. His keen eye for detail and his meticulous counting abilities have earned him a reputation as an eccentric but highly skilled accountant. Mr. Fribble was adopted by a hobbit warlock who insisted on keeping him as a companion. He possesses the uncanny ability to count objects with astonishing speed and accuracy. He can assess financial documents, identify discrepancies, and provide valuable insight. His sharp wit and understanding of numbers allow him to negotiate favorable deals. Mr. Fribble is a short, stocky goblin with a wrinkled face and large, piercing eyes. He wears a patched-up leather tunic, a quill tucked behind his ear, and carries a large ledger filled with numbers. He wears multiple gold earrings and has a gold coin necklace. He often has a habit of humming complex mathematical equations while counting. His eccentricity and love of numbers adds a touch of humor and intrigue to the world of creature collecting. In terms of what Mr. Fribble collects, he collects rare and unusual, I should say coins. I don't know why my autocorrect made things wrong. He collects rare and unusual coins, hoping to uncover their hidden histories and financial significance. He believes that each coin holds a story, and he seeks to decipher their secrets. Players may assist him in recovering a lost ledger containing valuable financial information. He accidentally misplaced this, and it was stolen by a mischievous imp. He also may send them to gather rare coins from distant lands. He sells unique coins and accounting tools, such as an enchanted abacus and inkwells that never run dry. I don't know what this has to do with creature collecting, but I love Mr. Fribble at the same time.
I mean, I'll say it right now. I didn't think that you could make forensic accounting cool in a fantasy setting, but I think this may have done it for me. So I'm interested in accounting a smidge more now. There's no doubt about this.
I feel like Lucian would be interested in the never run dry inkwells too.
Oh, yeah, that's a creature comfort you can't live without.
My immediate thought in reading the appearance was there is a rather peculiar Brunei that we would want to keep Mr. Fribble away from, because the multiple gold earrings and gold necklaces would very quickly go missing.
Mr. Fribble and Rumpelflorp would be the best combination. And I want to see that interaction happen.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that interaction happen.
As if the chaos levels couldn't go higher.
I feel like
Test none
Mr.
of us.
Fribble will also have a love of broccoli cheddar soup without broccoli. Like, it's just like a batch made happen.
You know what? Yeah, that sounds right.
It's that
sounds
relationship
correct.
where first glance they seem so different, but then things start to make sense and they start to actually like each other, and you're like, wow.
It's beautiful.
I feel like Gordon might also like Mr. Fribble.
You know, it would definitely help with the dump of a shop to have somebody like this.
Comes in
Are you gonna
immediately
make him
starts
say it?
appraising.
You just want to hear me say it, don't you?
Curious would be indifferent to this individual. Like, 100% indifferent. Wouldn't hate him, wouldn't love him. He exists.
Lucian would depend on whether or not Mr. Fribble like how they displayed their love of counting and accounting, if it quickly got annoying, I think Lucian and Mr. Fribble would not be close. But if it was like this is a skill that comes out when necessary, oh, awesome. That's something we can use. We're best friends now.
Was the imp.
Yes, Evil Honey Badger. Rumpleforp would be the imp that stole the ledger. You were not wrong.
That's so funny.
I think Thistle would want to learn some accounting tips for future when they open up their own shop.
I can see that. Tanner, what would friend think?
Oh, friend. I mean, me sitting here saying nothing is friend. This guy would be an anomaly. Like, as strange as friend is as a golem to people, this guy is to friend. Like, what is this guy talking about?
I can see that. Yep. Number 14, Zyrelli. Zyrelli is a resourceful and ambitious gnome, age unknown. She honed her magical talents through rigorous schooling as a wizard. Driven by a lifelong dream, she had transitioned from academics to apothecary. Combining her love for magic and alchemy, she embraced a journey to create a sanctuary for all. Zyrelli's shop is a wonder to behold. Shelves from floor to ceiling lined with an eclectic mix of items and cages housing creatures that range from mundane to magical. The friendlier creatures wander the shop freely. Zyrelli is a curious and inventive soul, always eager to understand the why and push boundaries of her craft. She keeps an ear to the ground, well informed of the goings-on in society. Her connections span from the highest echelons to the closest slums, and she maintains a friendship with many individuals, including crime organizations. She is always found in her shop with a small pet were mushroom on her shoulder. Her infectious smiles make everyone feel welcome, but visitors quickly learn that behind the warm hospitality lies a mind sharp as a blade and a heart open to aiding those in need, provided they don't underestimate her cunning. Zyrelli stands 3 feet tall and weighs 35 pounds. She has light tan skin, big blue eyes, and shoulder-length bright pink hair styled in 2 little buns. She wears nondescript leather boots, black leggings, and a teal long-sleeved tunic with rolled-up sleeves. Over her tunic, she sports a leather vest full of pockets, her leather belt packed with a small weapon and tools, which completes her practical yet colorful look. For her collection, she goes, I collect unique, fluffy, and abandoned critters. Everyone needs a home, which would explain some of the bloodthirsty creatures I keep around. Sometimes I need some fur or a whisker for an experiment I'm working on. My creatures don't attack my patrons, as long as they don't turn their backs on them. Please don't put your fingers in the cages. Thank you. In terms of how she interacts, as an apothecary, I have a wide selection of potions: healing, necrotic, poison, some invisibility and mind control, or strength and heroism and speed. Others are some of my own making. Similar, but with side effects. But don't worry, they shouldn't last long, I think. I'm pretty sure my hair will turn back to a normal color someday. It's okay, though. I like the pink. It's grown on me. Get it? It's grown on me.
Nice.
That is Zyrelli. And this is Zyrelli's shop sign that the individual drew.
That's really cool.
I like it.
I like
And
that a
the
lot,
were
yeah.
mushroom, which is adorable. It's a little funny, fuzzy mushroom.
Oh, that's
With
the
fangs.
that's a were mushroom.
With fangs.
Fangs.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, that's like super cute.
The little toe beans. Like,
Yeah, they're squishable.
You can pet it once.
Everybody gets one.
I think this NPC is fantastic.
I really,
It's
I
a
really like
mix
this
of
too.
friendly and, like, I'm going to stab you in the back.
Yeah. Also feel, I don't know, it feels like real and relatable. I feel like even after reading that character interaction, when I'm hearing you go through that, I feel like I know what that interaction would look like if I was running or if I was playing it, which again, like helping me to make a decision on which was going to fit into any world setting. I feel like I know Zyrelli more because of it.
I would love to run into Zyrelli in a campaign and just like exploring her shop and seeing the little creatures she's got wandering around, I think would be really neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of a naive character, and not to say that Zyrelli is naive, but to have the like, I'm not trying to house monsters, but everything does need a home. So like, you might run into a creature you don't want to here. Like,
Yeah.
there might be an Anzu in the back, and I don't mean to do that, but I'm just trying to give it a home. I like that a lot.
One of my favorite things in games, in every game I go into, is I like just going into shops and like give me the thing you don't know what it does. Give me the random thing, give me the unpredictable thing. Like, what's that on the shelf? You don't know. Okay. And sometimes I use it, sometimes I
Yeah,
don't.
that's
Sometimes it sits in my inventory. I still have a home game where I have a magical statue of a lion that I still haven't figured out what it does. And it just always sits there. So this is one of those shops that I would love to go into as a player, because I would 100% buy the potions that like have side effects and do weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's right up my alley. I like the weird shit. I like the cursed items. I like all that stuff. So this is up my.
It's
love it.
fun.
Now, would Curious like her?
I have to think on that one. I think so. Yes. I think at first Curious would be like, no, like this is too fluffy and nice. But like once that hint of like that cunning, that
The cunning, yeah.
that connections,
Yeah.
that like I could stab you in the back, like just that's where Curious would be like, okay, I see where this is going. I see you, and I think Curious would be like, okay, this is my kind of person.
It is already my new headcanon that Lucian and Zyrelli are already aware of each other. They already know each other. And when Lucian walks into their shop, Zyrelli is like, no, get out of here. There's like a 6-second pause, and then they give each other a big hug. I think they already have connections. I think they like each other. I think they know each other.
Oh, hi, I'm still here. I was like, oh yes, and then the next person is going to talk. That's me. I think Thistle is taking over my brain for a moment. I am ecstatic that there are so many NPCs that are 3 feet tall. That makes me very happy, because Thistle is actually not quite 3 feet tall, so around these NPCs, they'd probably be like standing up a little bit straighter. But yeah, I think Thistle will just have a field day in Zyrelli's shop and just run around and explore everything, maybe touch 1 or 2 things that they shouldn't, and then find out why.
Yep.
I think Friend's boat would be, I must protect Petrie at all costs. Because this person wants to collect my little bird and look at all these, and like just walking through all the monsters that are like eyeing the little bird and the nest and, you know, Friend's hair. It's like, oh man.
What would Gordon think?
Gordon would be intimidated that this person is seemingly running a very successful apothecary shop. He'd be
Taking
downplaying everything. Nothing is that cool. Everybody calm down. Like, it's not that great, right, guys?
Sweeps the shelf. Why is there no dust? What's going on here?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you have this? Okay, well, back at my
Exactly.
shop, I...
Just
Have
that's
that.
character. You're missing everything.
Exactly. Oh, so you must be brand new. There's no dust, huh?
All right, number 15. Celia C. Celia C is an old lady that lives near the sea with her garden of fruit trees. She's a low-level druid that loves her family and grandkids. Celia C is an old lady with short curly gray hair, glasses, and a large nose, wide, not long, white skin and wrinkles and laugh lines. It says creatures, based on the creator's grandmother. So whoever made this is based off of their grandmother.
Oh.
The NPC collects seals, living plants, and living gems as they remind her of her family. She is friendly to all, always offering fruits, pies, and scones to those that visit, and will offer quests for rare ingredients for jams like gooseberries and marzipan.
just before anybody says anything, just important to know, if you say anything bad about my grandmama right now, we're gonna have problems. So-
Secret plot twist: her family is all Selkies.
As you
think
say,
that would
plot
be
twist,
neat.
she's the grandmother of the BBG. So like you fall in love with her and you find out that like she's the grandma of like the person that you hate, and you're like, no,
Oh, no.
grandma.
There's actual geese in the gooseberries, and she's been that evil the whole time.
There's a very tiny honk.
Oh my god.
This is another concept that's just like so simple but so beautiful. Like
Yeah.
everybody would fall in love with this person.
I think it's
Immediately.
interesting that she's specifically a low-level druid.
Yeah,
Grandmama
At
doesn't bother
her-
herself with adventuring.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, how long has she been a practicing druid? I wonder. Just like picked it up a few years ago in retirement, just because it was fun.
Right. Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just enough to grow her trees, and then she's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. I don't. There's that energy too about like somebody. I feel like maybe like a couple more generations up above, there wasn't like the same formal education process. So like, yeah, low level druid, but has more wisdom than most practicing like high level
Yep.
druids because they've like lived the life and done
Mhm.
this stuff. They just don't know the inner workings of the circles. You know,
Yeah.
that's my grandma. Yeah.
I want to connect Grandma Celia with Chef Clayton,
Yes,
right?
and then as
so
long as she knows not to eat his food.
Well, she's got that wisdom. Like she's teaching him. She's the one saying, no, we don't cook with those.
We make bouquets with those, and then we
Yes.
don't sniff them.
Curious would have to love Grandmama. I just like, who
Yeah.
doesn't?
Who
Yeah.
doesn't?
If anyone
Exactly.
says they
Yeah.
won't like her, I have some words.
Right.
Beef, yeah, 100%. We fight tonight.
This is another one we would protect to the end.
Yes.
Harlow's
do-
future wife.
Yes, I'm here for
Also,
that.
yes.
Or twist, Harlow's ex-wife. And now we have a problem with Harlow.
Yes,
That's
and
why
how we have a
Harlow
problem with
left
Harlow.
and found
How
himself at
dare
the
you.
Great Oak Tavern.
That's why old man Harlow left and found himself. That's why he likes muffins so much. He misses
Oh
Grandma.
my God.
He's missing
Big
his ex-wife's baking. Oh.
Messaging Cody right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Karen, I hope you're still listening and write in Grandma C to be Harlow's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Number 16, Devdin Billabak, owner of Billabak Bonanza. Devdin is a gnome struggling to get shops started everywhere he can be found. He has a short beard with a mustache. His hair is cul-de-sacking. I love this. His hair is cul-de-sacking to the back of his
Nice.
head, but he keeps his shoulder-length gray hair perfectly kept. His hazel eyes shine brightly, especially when he's seeing a magic item for the first time or demonstrating his magical wares. He typically wears a red tunic over top a white button shirt. His pants are neatly pressed, and he has cotton shoes with padded soles. He's recently acquired a woven cloak and a black eye patch ordained with a small red jewel that he wears proudly. He takes his handy haversack, which is almost as big as he, everywhere he goes, and is seen picking out some of his wares while attempting to make a sale or trade. He collects pseudo dragons for their pretty colors. He deals in minor magic items of common or uncommon variety, most of which are not combat oriented, though you might find one from time to time. He is more interested in trading magical items rather than selling them if he can, especially if he can get things that he hasn't seen before, or if he can get a couple items for one of his own to expand his collection or stock. This is Billowback. Devdin Billowback.
I love his name.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun to say.
It's like the Dimsdale Dibadone.
Yes, exactly. owner of the Villa Back Bonanza.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to say them
Jesse
both.
got it.
I love that. Now, is there, if Devdin Billowback exists, then there has to be some version of like Timmy Turner's dad who hates him, like who hates Dimmadome and always yells his name, Billowback.
Oh yeah, and is actually out there doing something, which is making it challenging to get their shop up and
Yeah.
off the ground.
I
Yeah.
feel like this guy's like an accidental con man. Like, he has magical items, but he just doesn't know what they do. And he just sells them up. So
Right,
he's not trying to con people, but he's just like, look at this really cool magical thing. I'm sure it does this. And
Yeah.
he just pisses everybody off.
Sometimes it's a massive bargain. Sometimes you are really like a sunk cost type of thing because they
Right.
don't even really know.
Yeah. It's like this ring once got somebody from X continent to X continent, and it's a ring of swimming, so it's like, well, sure, it allowed them to swim, and it did get them there, but it took a long time. It took 140 days, and
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's like
The
a magical item
asterisks.
that has
Everything has the asterisk.
Yeah.
it had a single use and it's already been used.
right, right.
But he doesn't know that.
I also love that in the drawing, he's just got like every ring known to man on his fingers and like all of this stuff. Curious would not like this man.
I'm on the fence as to whether or not Lucian would like Devdin Billabak, owner of Billabak Bonanza, but I think I want to say yes, only because I think he would appreciate like the same energy that you get when you peruse like a pawn shop. You never know what you're going to see or what you're going to find. I think that would be exciting to Lucian, and going to Devdin's I think would be similar.
I agree for the pawn shop vibes with Thistle. Also, pseudo dragons. I love pseudo dragons, so therefore Thistle would love pseudo dragons as well.
It's like there's always a little bit of you that you put in your character, and that is what Mal has put in Thistle. It's like pseudo dragons, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Friend would be very intrigued by everything that this guy would be. Friend would be the person that everybody would read this guy's like kind of scheme, like, okay, yeah, we get it, we understand what's going on here, and Friend would just be buying into it, like, what? It cut him across the entire ocean, like this little ring. That's like, Friend, he's a con man, like, come on, he's gonna ask you to pay for 1,000 gold. Let's go.
If anybody in the stream watches or listens to Sanity Damage, that was written by Nathan, who's on our podcast too, Body Nook, the merchant that just shows up everywhere, no matter where you are, he's just in that town selling stuff, and you're like, how did you get here? I've been traveling for months. I saw you, like, and he's just always there. Like, I feel like that's this guy. Like, he's got the ability to just like portal to wherever he wants to go to try to sell you more shit.
Yeah, surely there's a portal in that bag. Look how big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke.
And then as soon as he makes a sale, he's just like, poof. Like, God.
What if he's got like a curse on him that every time he makes a sale, he randomly gets transported to another location?
Wow.
I love that.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
It's like, remember me.
Yeah, all sales final. That has to be somewhere. In there.
Yeah.
I love him. All right. Number 17, Whorehound. Whorehound, named for a medicinal herb, he would never make a moral judgment of a canine, human, or other creature for that matter, is a woodsman that can be encountered through your adventures. A dwarven half-elf trained in the ranger arts and druidic magic, Whorehound can be found wandering the wilds or taking up temporary residence outside a town or village. His vocation in life is to travel the world, setting up small, sustainable farms and homesteads in order to produce food and medicine for civilized folk without damaging the balance of the physical and spiritual environment. To the untrained eye, he appears to be human, as the gruff features of a dwarf and the refined features of an elf balance themselves out. Upon closer inspection, though, his short stature and red beard show his dwarven ancestry, and his pointed ears and composed demeanor show his elven ancestry. He wears a suit of hide armor and a large brim leather hat. He carries a walking stick made of locust wood, carved in Celtic-style knots, which serve as his magic focus. He wears 3 rings on both hands and carries a wooden shield with a leaping carved into it. Whorehound is accompanied by a dire rabbit, who he calls Big Coney. Coney being another word for rabbit. He has a habit of rescuing many injured and abandoned animals, adding them to his traveling party until he can heal them or find them a safe place to live. Whorehound can trade the player's fruits, vegetables, spices, and culinary or medicinal herbs. He may hire the players to run errands for him, collect herbs, deal with monsters, or help him with a project on his farm. He will also offer free food and knowledge of animals and environmental spirits to any who help him. He may also be entreated to mediate disputes with the Fae, or elemental spirits, and heal injured or sick familiars. He may even bestow upon a player a rescued creature if they prove their love of nature to him.
This is cool and super well thought out.
Very. I like the look
love
too.
half
Yeah.
elves that are not half human
Okay.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much. I think that needs to be done more.
Profound Hearthound, Tobin. Evil Honey Badger, you're in a row today.
That's great.
This is another one that could easily fit into like any game. He's just like, you just come into a nice little town. He's got his
Yeah.
farm, just needs some help. Like, you just see this big dire rabbit around.
The thing that gets me is this is a story hook that I've never even thought of using or writing before. But he may also be entreated to mediate disputes with the Fae or elemental spirits. Like, I would intentionally write that type of stuff into a game, then so I could introduce Whorehound to be the mediator, and then they happen to learn about the other stuff that they offer. That is such a cool little tidbit.
Yeah.
It's like you meet him in one specific setting, and then you think like, oh, that's just a one-time NPC, and then you like go into town later, and it's like, oh, hey, you're that guy.
Yeah.
This is one of those NPCs that you can introduce at really low levels, and it would not be out of place. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna go help the farmer,
Yeah.
fend off things that are attacking his farm, and then like 10 levels later, when you're getting your ass kicked by the Fae in some way, somebody's like, oh, just go talk to Whorehound, and you're like, wait, that dude that I met at like level 1 where I had to help him save his potatoes, like that's the guy that can mediate this for me. Those are my favorite, when you just get all the way thrown back to those early levels, and you're like,
Yeah.
that dude? Really, that
Yeah.
dude? I also like to think if you make this guy really angry, he can also just send the Fae after you.
It,
Yeah.
that's like one of those things where, you know, those memes where it's like you paid the dentist and then but your card bounces and it's like a video of somebody punching him in the face, like knock his teeth back out or whatever. Like, that's like this guy. He's like, I helped you with the Fae. Now you pissed me off, so I'm letting him loose again. Like, that's what you get.
Your
Yep.
card declines at therapy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Trauma.
Yeah, that's this guy. That's so funny.
I think Kyrus would respect this man. I think he'd just be like a respectable dude. No nonsense.
I dare say that there might also be a fearful respect with Lucian here as well, because they present so like commonplace, and I think they would appreciate it at first because they wouldn't be intimidated by them, and then they would come to respect them as they learned more. So I think they would like them.
Thistle would like him for sure. I feel like they might annoy him. Because he seems like the kind of person who'd be like, this person has stories. I want to know what they are. Yeah.
I can see that.
I just think he's really neat.
I think so too. I think Friend would really enjoy this, to be like, to have that wherever this person is, this farmer is, like, get back in touch with nature, like with Friend's background being, you know, from the forest and stuff. So having him building, you know, sustainable farms and homesteads and stuff, Friend would be really into this guy.
I don't know why, but I feel like this guy would hate Rumpleforp. Like, that's just the vibe
don't
I'm
know
getting
why?
off this character.
Yeah, you
That
don't
like
know why.
well, there's a lot of reasons, but like this character in particular, I'm just like, for some reason, if this ever popped up in our game, don't bring Rumpleforp. Like,
That staff quickly becomes a whacking stick. for everything that
Bonk.
Rumblethorpe's
doing.
just like running through the farm, just like these vegetables are mine. Just,
Yeah,
like, pulling
yeah.
the crap.
Pulling up all the
Sampling
vegetables.
things, taking one bite out of each of the pieces of like
Yes.
fruits and veggies,
Yep.
He pulls it out of the ground to take a bite and then leave it there and move on.
Yeah.
To the
puts it
next
back in the
thing.
ground.
That's where we are. Okay. Number 18. In April. In April is a former ranger cleric who has spent her life in a small village. She's always had a trusty dog by her side as she hunted to provide and protect her friends. She became well known for breeding dogs as her skills as a hunter. She is now past middle age and is settling down to a comfortable retirement. Her new goal in life is to take care of the strays that sometimes show up in the village. Some are even descendants of her old dogs. She made it her new goal to take in all of the abandoned animals that people will not give homes to. The sickly, the difficult, the old. After all, everyone's a puppy, but no one wants an old dog that might be dead in a few weeks. She takes them in, gives them a comfortable retirement that they never would have expected on the streets. She bonds with all of them, and even though she doesn't intend to adventure with them, their bond with her has given them some back of their old vitality. If she meets an adventurer who seems to have a good heart, she is willing to give them the dog to be their companion. She's also skilled with medicine and can heal any animal that is brought to her. In terms of her appearance, she's thin, but with wiry muscles. Her hair has gone gray, and she has laugh lines on her face. She carries a satchel of medicine wherever she goes, as well as a small dagger in a hip belt. She collects dogs, just because there's so many that need a good home, that don't have a place to go. In terms of player interactions, she's just a nice, quiet, stay-at-home woman. She's skilled in healing and giving advice about the area because she's walked the paths and forests for more than 40 years. Just a sweet old lady that
This is
takes
just
in all the
quaint.
dogs.
Just objectively cool and helpful and nice and sweet and good.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that are good in the world.
I feel there's something about this character that's like put in the game to be that sweet moment of respite, but can quickly become like the players can use this character as like a DM's just like, hey, here's a sweet old lady, and the characters are like, all right, we're trying to do something like evil and conniving, so can you like tell us about this area? Like, we're trying to sneak into this place, so talk to us about the forest. Like, are there any like secret pathways or like what's going on here? Like, I feel like players will corrupt in April, unfortunately. Like that's my immediate thought.
Or they just won't trust her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
she's so
genuinely
nice that you're
just
like,
a
there's
sweet
something
old
wrong.
lady.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, there's gotta be something else.
It's every party literally ever. But hold on, Tanner. I think this with the same scene that you've just built up, almost like the complete opposite. You've got this like super sweet and authentic individual who's been there for like 40 years, and you got the party up to no good, and then she's just slowly slipping in like, oh well, that's an idea, you know. I've got a story for you, and like tells some really relevant story that doesn't say like do it or don't, but just starts to plant seeds of doubt that maybe the
Right.
party should go a different path. And she's like, I don't know, that here's a dog, and then they leave.
Right. Or like, what do I know? I'm just a little old lady in
Yeah.
the woods.
Yeah,
Here's a dog.
Kira's wouldn't like this individual just because she's a Handu. That's it.
You say, is it dog?
Yeah. For those who don't know from the D&D world, in MythCraft, Handu are dog folk. So I feel like she'd be like a little uncomfortable in this lady's house, surrounded by dogs.
Randomly, in April is like just petting Kiris all the time, and Kiris is like keeps stopping her from petting her.
yeah.
It's
But
just a
also
reflex, I'm
Kyrus,
sorry.
right? But also Kyrus's like right leg is thumping on the ground.
Yeah.
Tail starts swishing just a little bit faster than normal.
Yep, 100%. Trying to stop her, but not really.
I think Lucian loves in April because of the dogs. specifically. I don't think there are too many dogs in Lucian's life. I think there could be like the more like animals, the more pets, the better. So I think he would feel very comfortable and very at home in this abode.
I think that Thistle would feel kind of at home as well. Thistle likes like parental, grandparental vibes people. So I think they would just have like, they'd be really thankful for like, okay, the adventuring is fun. It's getting kind of exhausting. Just want to rest for just a second. Oh, and we're surrounded by dogs that are all taller than me. This is great. I think they'd just have a lot of fun.
This would be, I picture it, Friend sitting down and all of the dogs kind of just like dog piling on Friend. Or all the dogs trying to like mark Friend. So maybe Friend is like not crazy in love with this.
Yep.
It's like they keep spilling water on me.
Yes, it's putrid water.
Oh,
What's
poor
going on?
Friend.
This putrid water.
Oh boy. All right. Number 19. Sharon. Sharon is a forest gnome druid ranger. The more vicious and likely to eat a person that a creature looks, the more likely she is to tame it. She is very small and has a meek voice. Humanoids rarely notice her or pay any attention when she speaks, but the animals almost always obey. She can make special treats from good berries that give advantage on animal handling checks for 10 minutes. She talks to all beasts, no matter their size or ability to eat her, just like a cute little baby. In terms of appearance, she's just tiny and petite. She collects all kinds of creatures, but she especially likes the mean and vicious looking ones. She sells special taming treats, and she might ask adventurers to help her get the necessary ingredients for these. She might also have quests to help save creatures in danger. She's always willing to help tame or train a beast, but anyone who wants her services must pass the sniff test from her most fearsome looking, but really just a baby, beast.
I love
Again,
her.
this is simple and clean and also and amazing.
I would love to come across this in the game. This is somebody where like you'd meet them outside of like their shop or whatever it is
Yeah.
in town, and it's just like, oh yeah, I can help you. Like, oh, excuse me, don't mind the shop. And you walk in, and it's just terrifying shit, like everywhere. And she's just walking through it, and you're like, that thing is 8 times your size and looks like it's about to eat you. And she's like, no, that's just fluffy. Like, I just.
Well, Ash's comment, mini Hagrid.
Yeah,
Yes. Pocket
absolutely.
Hagrid.
I love the advantage on animal handling checks for
Yeah.
10 whole minutes. That's cool.
Yeah, because not that I don't love the Goodberry spell, but the Goodberry spell is pretty like underwhelming. So it's just cool that it kind of gives a bit more to your good berries. It's like you can make 10 of them. You can only eat 1 per action. That only heals 1 HP. So, yeah, at least you got a full belly, but now it does more.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this opens the door, if this character exists, where every DM, every GM, every MC has to start getting ready with the animal voices, because this NPC is leading characters down the path of, we need to speak with animals because we've already been handling every animal possible, and now our DM needs to do every single animal voice. Like, this is a dangerous game.
If you're running games and you're not actively practicing animal voices on your way to and from work every day, what are you doing?
Step up your game.
And if you thought that was weird, this is your sign that it's not weird. Start doing
Right.
it.
True. Curious would completely dismiss this individual like everybody else until we got in that shop. And then she would still dismiss the person, but she'd be fascinated with the creatures.
I think that would be like the antithesis here. I think Lucian would be the one type of person that would notice them off the cuff, because Lucian's the type of person that is looking for individuals that are cast aside and forgotten about. And so I think he would see value and notice this individual before anything else. And like them, yes.
Thistle, again, absolutely would love and just want to be her friend really bad, and might like maybe go a little overboard and try to like set up like a pen pal sort of situation. Like, I'll tell you stories about the adventures I go on. You tell me stories about the animals that you have. I don't know if Sharon would reciprocate that. Thistle would really hope that she would.
I don't know why. When I imagine good berries, I imagine they look like little Dragon Balls. And now I'm thinking that we need to pull the mask off of Sharon and see if it's actually Shenron in disguise. Because I don't know, something in my head it's starting to turn here. So whoever made submission number 19, we gotta talk.
Call us. We have
what
questions.
I'm feeling. Yeah. I don't know how Friend would feel about this. I think Friend would enjoy this person because of the special treats that would like allow Friend a way to give back to Petrie, because Friend, outside of like, hey, live in my head, Petrie's been really awesome to Friend. So I am curious though, like if we were to meet this person and get these treats, would these be like what are animal characters called? Like a tabaxi or like a Hondu. What are they called? Animorphs is the only thing that comes to mind, and I don't think that's right. Humanoid,
Is
but
it
like
just
what are they?
humanoid?
They're like I don't know. Basically what I'm getting at is like would these work? Would these have an effect on that type of
Are
lineage?
you trying to like feed them to Curious and
maybe could
see
we
what
like
happens?
coerce Curious?
Let
Like,
him
would these be
cook, let him
Scooby snacks?
cook.
Yes. Would these be Scooby snacks for Curious?
I don't
Or
think
even
Thistle likes what he's
Thistle?
cooking.
Anthropomorphic, that's what it is. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Nathan, thank you.
I was not picking up what you were putting
Hi,
down.
I was
Nathan.
halfway there with Animorph. I was halfway there.
We should have stayed there, to be honest. Animorphs. Let's go.
I don't like the idea of treats that you could feed my character to make her nicer to you.
Well, I mean,
Curious, just eat this cookie. Don't worry about it.
Is it not one of the best parts of Scooby-Doo that they'll do anything for a Scooby snack? So maybe we're like,
Yeah.
here's we gotta go do this. Come
No,
on,
I
Chris,
actually
what would you-
personally love it. Take notes. You're gonna be in
One
the summer.
Scooby snack, two Scooby snacks.
No. Wait, hold on. Curious as a character though, like despises any attempt to get these snacks to them, and then secretly has a stash in their room.
Yeah.
Every single.
It's like Squidward liking the Krabby Patty. Spoiler alert, sorry for everybody
You
who
like
hasn't
Krabby
seen.
Patties, don't
Yeah.
you, Squidward?
All right. Last but not least, Carl Douglas.
Okay.
And pay attention to the C's and K's for everybody out there. I'll say that. Carl Douglas has a strong illusion magics and telepathy. He can fly by conjuring a large magical cloud of balloons to take to the sky. He was brought to life by his master, the Great Fredrickson, who who traveled the world exploring unseen territories, finding ancient artifacts, and saving critters everywhere he went. During one adventure out to an exotic land, the Great Fredrickson went out and never returned. After a year of waiting, Carl made the decision to return to civilization, hoping to hear word of his master's whereabouts. Since then, Carl has traversed many places, finding and helping out numerous creatures. Unable to keep them all, he opened a pet shop to spread joy and happiness by helping these creatures find a proper home. If you take a short walk outside of town, you may happen across a small moss-covered cobblestone shop with a brightly colored sign reading Carl's Colorful Critters. Upon entering, you hear a cacophony of squeaks, tiny roars, little barks, mules, and more as you see all manner of small creatures gallivanting about. A cozy wooden interior bids you welcome to come and relax on the plush furniture. Behind the counter is an old portly human man in his 70s with a square face and glasses. He smiles and says, "Welcome to Carl's Colorful Critters. I'm Carl with a K. How can I help you?" If you ask why his shop is Carl with a C, he would respond, because alliteration, of course. Carl has all types of creatures, both mundane and magical. Every creature Carl has is one that he has nursed back to help or protected and did not want to return back to the wild. He considers all of the creatures to be his friends. Carl is very selective for his friends to ensure that they get the proper home. Carl rarely goes outside, mostly only to clean his shop signs and windows. However, for the more discerning adventurers, when something seems awry, they can make a check. If they pass, Carl will disappear, only leaving his cheerful voice. At his shop, players can purchase pets and familiars and supplies. He also has goods to enhance creature abilities. He has quests ranging from simple item retrieval to protecting animals from poachers. If the players do enough quests for Carl, he will reveal the second floor of his shop. This reveals that the Carl they were interacting with was just an unseen servant with illusion magic. The real Carl uses telepathy to speak to everyone. Once he feels comfortable enough to meet them, he reveals himself and rewards them all with a magical item and a unique pet. So if you didn't catch it, Carl with a C is the real Carl. Carl with the K is the unseen servant that they meet in the shop.
Whoa.
That's Carl and Carl.
I like it.
I like it too.
He's just so much fun.
I'm
I
just
say
thinking,
this about all of them.
"Oh,
They're all so
Mr.
much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's true though.
Let me in.
My mind melts at the thought of like the unseen servant pantomiming the words and everything, and then people just hearing it in their head. Like I'm trying to think how that would how does that feel compared to hearing it through your ears and then in your head versus feeling it directly in your head? Like something about me just gives me the heebie-jeebies for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like your voice sounds strangely close to me.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know what it is. It freaks me out, man.
So we're not taking Tanner to Carl's shop.
I also feel like that's like even if you're like really like well versed in this and you're skilled at this ability, you have good days and bad days. So I imagine there's some days where it lines up really well, and there are other days where it's like a lag of 3, 4, 5 seconds, and you're like, what are you doing? What are you saying?
It's not explained. The DM is just like, oh yeah, he's just lagging a little bit. You hear the noise, and then you see his mouth move.
100%. If you had like time to prep a session, I would record myself saying the same thing like 2 times over, and then almost like it's a row your boat.
Yeah.
Do it say it also 3 seconds afterwards just to really mess with them.
I really appreciated that this person took inspiration from something, but then turned it into something unique. Like, I get the inspiration, I get it, I make the connections. I'm like, oh, that's okay, I know where that's from. But then they took it and made it something completely their own.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've got such a soft spot for that movie. It's very cute.
Yeah.
I think Kirst would like this person until she found out they were real. Like, once the deception happened, she'd be like, dude.
The deception, yeah.
Yeah. I to be honest, again, not to have like the same exact answer, but I think it'd be very much once Lucian feels like he's had like a fast one pulled on him, like that's not fair. That's what he does, and so we have a problem now. But until then, we're probably chill.
I think Thistle would be really impressed. A little taken aback, and then maybe bombarding him with questions about like, how did you do that? Can you teach me?
Very much so. Friend would also be very impressed by this, and then would probably not really understand.
It'd be the friend of the water situation.
Yes, exactly.
Where did Carl go?
Yeah. Where's the other guy though? Like, I get it, you're up here, but
that was actually Carl Jr.
Oh, nice. We call him Hardee's.
Okay. That's it. That's the stream.
I think the one thing that would annoy Kirst to no end is the fact that the sign said Carl with a C and his name was Carl with a K.
Right.
She'd just be like,
but why?
Why? Yeah. No, I don't care about
you're
alliteration.
So we're lying.
Yes. So
just
what
change
is the
it.
truth?
I want to know somebody who deals in mundane and magical creatures and unique pets. What type of magical items does this person have? I really feel like this could be a cool interaction to where if you do have some type of animal companion, say on zoo pets or say a little bird that flies around, it's like maybe that magical item enhances that versus, as much as I love to get a +1 sword or something, I really like that thought from this character.
Yeah.
One thing I always have disliked in games where I've had like pets or familiars or something like that is that they're so stagnant.
Oh, yeah.
Like you get them in like in the beginning they're kind of good, but then like as you get high levels you're just gonna die, so I'm gonna keep you in the back lines being my cheerleader, because if I put you out there you'll get one shot. Like if a fireball hits you, you're done. Like especially with pets. So I would love to have something where I could get something to enhance to like level up my creature so that it could be useful at level 15 when I'm trying to do big awesome stuff and I don't have to just worry about it all the time.
Right.
Like an asset instead of a liability.
So those were the 20.
Woohoo!
Whoa.
There's
Fantastic
a lot to
submissions,
go
everyone.
through.
First
That
of all,
is a lot, yeah.
They're all really
we-
good though.
Do we want to do a quick, just like 1 through 20 re-showing to remind everybody of what we've seen? Or are we all good? I know some people
I
were
made
taking
notes this time.
Notes.
I've got a list.
I have notes from the ones that I really sat in and chatted about, but could I get a quick run through? Because there were a few, I missed, I think, the first 2 or 3. I really like,
Absolutely.
well, yeah, we'll just run through it. Okay, wait, no,
So
okay,
the ones
wait.
that you missed.
I did see this one, actually.
This is the first one.
I really
this is
like
the first
this one. Okay.
So you were here for all of them then.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess I saw all of them then.
Just
Never mind.
sneakily.
Yeah.
And just joined halfway through.
I was just like, yeah, like they're already in it. They're doing the thing. 4 feels
You were
like a
literally
good
here
number.
from the beginning, and you're like, I'm just not gonna join.
Well, okay, hold on. In my
been here
defense,
the whole
I
time.
had it on my phone as I was driving home. So I had pulled it up because I saw that it was live, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss the first
Sure,
few. So
sure.
yeah.
Okay, Ash asked for a quick rerun, so we'll do a very quick rerun because I know some people joined in late. So submission 1 was Lady Lila Fawnflower, a half elf, beautiful, loves fairy dragons, blink dog, pseudo dragons, and basically goes all around the place to study all types of creatures and goes out of her way to try to share her knowledge of them. Unnamed druid. Pretty simple. An unnamed druid who wants to protect everything from extinction. And cute little goblin boy. Zelier Swift, a crazy old gnome artificer who makes weapons of all types. Sells all these things. Tries to give flumps weapons. Has 7 daughters and is just kind of the kooky old man. Tons of fun. Flora Ravensong, sweetest little adventurer ever, braids her hair to carry her familiar around. Flower, just tries to match people with creatures from her sister's sanctuary, and go on quests with people. Elliot the Unlucky, he is Elliot and he is unlucky. He basically trades in luck. So he's looking for one specific creature that he once connected with. And every time you find a creature that might fit that description, he will give you luck in exchange for that creature, which causes him then to be unlucky. Chef Clayton, clay golem who poisons people on accident. He just cooks, and he loves to cook. He just doesn't know what's safe. So he
Anyone
has
can
killed
cook.
people. Yes. Yeah. Stevie, I don't really need much more of an explanation. Inspired by the great Steve Irwin and fantastic. Definitely cooking familiars. Maybe. We don't know if Clayton's cooking familiars. Sparkle. Sparkle is an awakened familiar. Lots of fae nonsense. Doesn't have to tell the truth, but does have to be bounded to agreements. can fly, do a bunch of super cool things. Always tells a different story of how he came to be. The Forgotten One, somebody who has forgotten their past, but there's rumors that they were once very, very powerful. In the game, they randomly cast spells, anywhere from doing nothing to 9th level spells, which is terrifying. And they just are regularly looking for things that help remember their past and then to break the curse that they are under. I still don't know what it means when it's all coming together again. That could either be great or super
It's all
spooky.
coming together.
They're actually the
It's like the
BBG.
end of the world type thing. Isaac is a Nothic. But one that is civilized, very kind of eccentric, anti-violence, but willing to help. Tries to be very adorable. He trades in clothing, and he has a portable tower that the adventurers can eventually use as a home base, which is crazy and fun. Snux, or Vjishif Mouthpuff, or whatever you're gonna say it, is our friendly little draconic kobold merchant, who is on the search for the Rainbow Willy. We have Esmeralda, who is similar to Elmira from Looney Tunes, just obsessed with all creatures, wants to hug and squeeze them all, loves the cute ones in particular, and will get very mad at you if you do not let her obsess over your familiar. Mr. Fribble. Mr. Fribble is the accountant who collects coins and was kind of taken hostage by a warlock at a zoo. Zyrelli owns her own apothecary. She loves to collect all types of creatures, even if they are bloodthirsty. She sells all types of things, specifically potions that have side effects that you'll find out. We have Celia C., Grandmama, who just wants to cook you pies and fruits and give you all of the love. Devin Billowback, owner of the Billowback Bonanza. I said that much better than I thought I was going to. Collects pseudo dragons because they're cool. Sells you magic items. Might be a con man. Whorehound. Whorehound is the woodsman / farmer who produces medicine and food for civilization to kind of help them. He has a connection with Fae or elemental spirits that might help mediate disputes, or he might send them after you. And he has a big dire rabbit, which is kind of cool. In April is another old grandma that collects dogs and basically just gives a home to all dogs that need it and tries to find them a good home. They're just super sweet and nice and wants you to come visit. Sharon, Druid Ranger, loves everything vicious and dangerous, and wants to just turn them into cute little babies and speak to them in a baby voice. She has cool treats that can give you advantage on animal handling chests. And she's really just kind of tiny, petite, quiet. Lastly, the one we just went over, Carl Douglas. Our crazy old man that hides in the second floor of his building and uses a unseen servant to do all his bidding. And once he trusts you, though, he will reveal who he is and give you some really cool shit. There you go. I hope I summarized all of those well.
I feel caught up. I feel reminded.
Yes.
All right, so we have to pick a winner. The hardest part. I guess we could do this like last time. Do we want to just pick our top 2, top 3? Unless we have a clear favorite.
Top 4.
I've got a top 4 list as well.
Mel can have top 4.
I have a top 4.
Top 4
with an
with a
honorable
5th as an
mention.
honorable mention.
But I
Okay.
do have a list this time. I was making a list while we were going through them.
Okay. All right. Give me your top 4, Val.
Okay. Top 4 are Zeliar, Isaac, Whorehound, and Flora. Honorable mention has to go to Stevie.
I said that so fast. Zillier, Whorehound,
Oh, sorry.
Flora.
Zelier,
Slow.
Isaac, Whorehound,
Isaac,
and Flora.
okay. Awesome. How about you, Roger?
Okay, so I have a list of 4 as well, and I made my decision based on a number of factors, but the number one factor for my decision making was the growth potential from introducing an NPC early in the campaign and then somehow coming in and out through the rest of the story. I really like that in games because I want to feel a connection to them, not just one off. So for that reason, my top 4 are Isaac, Snux, Zyrelli, and Whorehound.
Okay. Tanner.
I had 4 as well because my one honorable mention is a little goofy. I liked Lady Fawnflower. Carl. Because of I want to know what magical items that guy's dealing in, and I do like the idea of, if not getting a companion that is unique and magical and levels up with you, maybe it can help your ranger who has just had the same bird forever. I like Whorehound as well. Because kind of the same thing that Roger talked about is just like introducing a character and then having the longevity of the character and not just being an NPC that you run into once. And then Mr. Fribble is my honorable mention, but it's a strange reason. Mr. Fribble is my honorable mention because he was stolen by a magical warlock at a zoo, and that sounds like the guy who owns the magical zoo in the world where Clifford the Big Red Dog exists, which would mean that quite possibly Clifford the Big Red Dog could exist in your campaign if Mr. Fribble exists. So
That's a
Are
reason.
your arms sore from all that reaching?
Right. There is no more red string in the tri-state area around Tanner.
So for
love
my
that.
4, I had Carl, because I think that's hilarious. I also had Isaac. I had Elliot the Unlucky, just because I think that's absolutely
that is a really
adorable.
cool idea.
Yeah, that was up there for me too.
I only had 3, so I could pick a 4th.
We're all waiting for the 4.
Sparkle. I'll pick Sparkle, because I also really like Sparkle.
Oh,
I also love
the
Sparkle.
the Fade
They were
Knight.
all so good.
They are also
know.
good. So it looks like it's kind of between Isaac and the Whorehound
interesting. Okay.
in terms of like almost everybody had those 2 on their list.
I love both of them for the same reasons that Roger, I was gonna call you Tanner.
Call me whatever you want. I'm a Robert. Yeah.
Just not late for dinner.
How dare you?
So I love them both for the same not scoring, but reasons that Roger had mentioned. Isaac is just like a tick above Whorehound for me because he is creature. And I think that would fit in really well in something like Bria's where it's just full of creatures. And then here's this creature that's different from others of his kind and is like, I just want to learn more about him. I think he's really neat.
I think we had also used a little bit of this logic on our last stream whenever we were talking about familiars too, but things that we haven't seen before, things that are novel, things that are cool and different, and this type of spin on a Nothic. I mean, I'm sure something like this has been done before, but I think it not only fits well for Bria's, but I think it's also a really good like turn on its head opportunity for that creature to become something more.
I'd probably vote for Isaac just because I feel like you could get more familiars involved.
That too, yeah.
Where
I
I love
love this
Whorehound,
name's
but I feel
Isaac.
Whorehound is a little more focused. Where Isaac, you could bring in basically any kind of creature and it would fit.
Who knows what believed extinct species exist inside that ancient magic city, inside their tower.
Yeah.
Very true. And tea parties and dress up with Isaac? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Isaac loves to play dress up. Like, I sound like, we need some respite. We need a long rest before we go fight the BBEG. I'm doing it at Isaac's place.
Yeah. I picked up this swatch of fabric at the last town that we were in. I'm gonna make something for Isaac. We'll trade.
Let's
It'll
go.
be
Let's
great.
put a little top hat
Yes.
on Isaac. Let's go. It's got the string, the really crude string to keep it on, the little itty bitty top hat.
Kira's isn't chaotic enough, but I have a character that steals left shoes, and 100% would just steal shoes to trade to Isaac.
I love that.
So, I mean,
Has
it
a
sounds
consensus
like
been
we're
made?
kind of going with Isaac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
He's
Team
won my
Isaac.
heart
Good.
for sure.
Well, congratulations to whoever made Isaac. Grant your password. I would just like open a ticket or DM him, so that he could know that you won. I don't know if he's here. If not, I will make sure he knows who won. But congratulations to whoever did Isaac, and that art is like actual art done. So
Oh,
that
wow.
was like fantastic.
Oh.
I'm sad that I had to
What?
cut some of it out to fit. It was
With
a
the
whole
submission?
big art sketch. Yeah. So I don't know if this is somebody's character that they play or something like that. But it was actually
So we
like
were really
custom
looking at
art.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh my
I can't say that
gosh,
because
I
you can't
love
judge based on the
that.
art, but that was actual
Yeah.
art. So whoever made Isaac,
Very
like,
cool.
drop that art in the Discord because it's gorgeous.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
I don't want to share it on your behalf, though. I guess you submitted it to
Yeah.
be shared, so I can. But congrats. Absolutely congrats.
Congrats
Right.
and thank
very
you.
cool.
And
Thank you,
huge
guys.
thank you
Yeah.
to everybody who took the time to submit.
One
It was a
last
lot
thing
of
for
fun.
anybody that's still hanging out, or well, two last things. One, check out MythCraft the podcast that we're all on. We just put a survey in the Discord for feedback. So if you could all fill that out, that would be great. Even if you haven't listened, there's feedback on why you haven't listened, even if it's just I didn't know you existed. That's fine. So give us some feedback because it's super helpful for us for planning. And then secondly, hop over into the Discord. It's movie night. So movie night will be starting in a half hour. What are they watching? Let's find out. Has it been announced yet?
I'm like racing to it right now.
No, I think they're still voting. Let's see, what are they voting on tonight? They are voting between Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from LA, and The Hateful Eight. And it looks like Big
Oh.
Trouble in Little China is winning. So that will start in 30 minutes-ish in the Homebrew Discord. Yep, the Homebrew Discord Java. So hop right on in there if you want to watch a free movie and hang out. Cody hosts that. Cody's also part of the MythCraft pod. And watch a cool movie. And thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for doing this again.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And we will talk to you all at the Discord. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.